Hey everyone. Hi, hello. I'm struggling tonight. I hope that I don't know what's going on here. Let's just reduce this. I'm struggling tonight to be on time for this project, and I wanted to show you the picture of it because mine did not come out the way that it's called Fun in the Sun, but I attempted this, but didn't give myself enough time. I'll be really honest with you. I attempted this and I didn't give myself enough time. I didn't watch the full video that Leo does because it was 2.5 hours long, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't get to the end of this. And then I had a whole bunch of pieces that they're extra. I don't know why they're extra, but they're extra. And so this is not going to be a fun date night, at least not for me. I'll try to make it fun and try to keep things sort of going. And hi. So maybe we can just enjoy each other's company a little bit for that. So this sandcastle, I really thought was going to be so much easier. And I had to go visit my mom today and then get groceries, and my son wanted to, and then we had to get Lola medicine. So I was all over creation today. And and I didn't give myself enough time to put this together. So I didn't read the directions that I needed a foam and foam board. That was something. Yeah, we can have fun. So just so you can see, we're going to put it together. My completed one, I'll just kind of show you. It's not really completed. Here is mine. Now, there are no things on top of there, pennants or whatever, the flags. And then I got totally messed up on the bottom because I didn't have the foam core. So I was feeling like you couldn't really, if you look at the picture again, the way that he did at the bottom here around didn't make sense to me. And then when I watched the video and got to that part, I was like, well, that's why, because I don't have the foam core. So, okay, yay. So we'll have fun. It's about being together, and I'm going to show you how I put this together. And it's not really beautiful, but thank you for very much. So today was the end of a very, very eventful week for us. Let's see, we did all of our 3D things, including the fox and diamonds and a lot of flowers. Trying to remember the flowers we did. I think we did, spider chrysanthemums, and we did gilded lilies. In addition, here over in Peabody, we had an earthquake, and my mother moved into her new facility, so that was a good thing. But then the other thing was I had to take her dog to go to the Rainbow Bridge, so there's that, and it's just been kind of kooky. So I hope you put up with me tonight, and I'll be a better date next time. I really promise. I didn't get ready enough for this date. So anyway, so today we're kind of just ending our 3D projects we've done for 2 weeks, and then we're going to be starting a week of freebies, and that means we're going to look at some websites that have free SVGs, so that if you weren't a Cricut Access member, or even if you were, and you wanted to kind of go outside of Cricut Access and try some things, and this company that this came from is a very good example, it's called Dreaming Tree, and they do have about 100 free SVGs. So we're going to do a couple from them, but also there are a couple of places that maybe you don't even know about that I can sort of show you that have free they have free and paid files. So obviously what they're trying to do, and what Dreaming Tree is trying to do, is to get you sort of hooked on their free files, and then you come back and buy their paid files, which I think is an excellent strategy. And it certainly keeps me coming. And sometimes the projects in the free files are just so good that, you know, the other ones are really, really big. And it's sort of I don't know, it's sort of like I do the smaller projects like as a main project, I should say, like the luminaries and everything else. So, so we're going to focus on that. But if you wanted to actually follow along with me to put this sandcastle together, then you would have to pay for this, and it's called Fun in the Sun is the name of the bundle. It's $6.99. They always have a freebie. Like it. Let me just go to the front. So here is. Let's go to the home page. So they have this thing. It's a free gift, and what you do is if you click on it, I guess they'll probably give you So it's a free gift, and what you got is you have to spend just almost $10, and then you type the free gift into your account, into your like bag, and it adds it automatically. And these are really cute. They come out with a free gift like every 3 weeks, sometimes even sooner. So in the event that you've been a customer of them for a very long time, I have to sometimes skip the freebies because I have nothing left to buy. That's the only thing that's sort of not genius about this. But if you're new to Dreaming Tree, there's so many files that they have. Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Father's Day, Mother's Day, so many flowers. It's well worth it. So once you actually get in there, oh no, somebody cracked their iPad, Brent, I think. So once you actually get and purchase this, you have to upload it. And this is the entire, just for the sandcastle. So you know, the Fun in the Sun includes, plus it includes the beach pail, which we have already done, and then there's a card. And so this is the main thing, and this is all these pieces. These are the vellum pieces. Here are the flags. These are the actual structural pieces, and then these are supposed to, and there's extra of these, which I'm really having a struggle with. I mean, I literally had to keep rewinding because I just didn't understand where he put all these pieces. So I did struggle. So you and I will sort of go through that together. But I wanted to just show you, when you do purchase an SVG, you have to upload it, and you go here to uploads right there, okay? And then you go to upload image. Now, this is after you've downloaded the file. You're going to go browse. And once you browse, if this is going to work, once you browse, I browse in my download file because that's where my downloads go. But yours may not go there, so just so that you know. So we're going to look for the set, and here is the Sandcastle, and there are indeed all of these 20 images. They're individual SVGs. This is what I don't like about Dreaming Tree, because you can't import the whole thing all at once. And so you have to do it like 20 times for this. But they do this, I figured out, to keep the parameters of the files correct. And that is what like some other people are experiencing lately, like Laurie Whitlock. I've noticed a couple of her files come in and they're just a mess because they made a change to Cricut Design Space, and they kind of didn't tell all the designers, and they've had to make adjustments to their downloadable files. It's a mess. We brought it up to Cricut, and I haven't heard back what's going to happen. But when you download an SVG from Dreaming Tree, what you also get is you get, let me just see if I can't find it. Okay, you also get this. It's a PDF. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, so PDF is here, and you can print this or just have it on your computer. And what it tells you here, if you read it carefully enough, which I didn't, is how much you're going to need. It's a big project. You're going to need 9 sheets of oatmeal, 3 sheets of brown sugar, 3 sheets of caramel, 1 sheet of fountain, 3 sheets of vellum, and then foam board, lights, and some toothpicks and other things and he does a lot of inking and stuff. So, I'm just going to get started. But so you have this PDF, and I printed it all out, and then I cut everything out. And so trying to assemble it, I had like this piece here. I don't know where these pieces are supposed to go. I have them extra. The others, I know where they're supposed to go, but I just have them extra. So we will take it together. We'll do it together. And it will not take us 2 hours, because I don't think I could stand doing this for 2 more hours, for 2 hours, since I just spent the last 2 hours doing this. So let me get you down here. So I'm assuming you're going to cut this all out, and when you're ready, so do cut everything out. For me, the easiest way to do that is to do it by a color. So here are, I cut out just one color at a time, and I do the vellum separately. So here you go. These are my 3 colors. Let's see, I got these down here too. Okay. So these are my 3 colors. The main piece is in this oatmeal color. I don't know if it's actually the exact color that he had, but from my preview one, I didn't have enough of this, so I had to choose a different color, which I didn't care for. And so I guess I'm looking at it and sort of going, I don't know. Anyway, so here are all the pieces for like the structure, okay? And then these things here are like the extras, like the little like pieces. So we're not going to be so concerned about those so much, but I do want to get the vellum out, because the vellum is going to go into all of these windows. This sandcastle has a lot of windows, probably more than a real castle would allow, because the whole idea of a castle is to keep people out. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of windows. Now, you can print on vellum and print this out using your printer. But I've heard from you guys saying that it uses up a lot of ink, so I don't want to show you that way. What I want to show you is an alternate way, and there are several different size vellum pieces here. I know you can't hardly see it, but I need this paper to show you what I'm going to be doing, okay? So here's the vellum. There's like a long piece. There's this archway. This arch is different because that one's for the front door. Yeah, there's doors everywhere. And there is like the half moon, and then these little small ones here. So instead of putting my vellum, or you could save this step and just buy yellow vellum. I just have not had yellow orange vellum. I just have not had a whole lot of luck with that. So I buy this vellum at Michael's. I also got this paper at Michael's. I wanted to talk to you about it. It's only on their website, but it's paper accents paper, and it's sort of like a no frills paper, but it cuts beautifully. It cuts beautifully on the Cricut. So I'm starting, because this was a color I just didn't have I never have enough brown. So I ordered this from Michael's, called Paper Accent, and it's like $25. This is before Cricut started restocking their cardstock. So so when you're doing this, I don't know anybody that has this much oatmeal. Like, to do both of them, I'd need 20. So there's that. So I buy the vellum also from Michael's, and actually, did I buy like a 50 pack of vellum? Anyway, so to get around the coloring issue, I have found that using your alcohol markers, and I suppose you could use any other marker as well, but I like these alcohol markers, and I do like to get some use out of them. So I'm just using this one. I'm going to do yellow, and it does dry, so I think I'm going to be able to get rid of those streaks, but I can do this like this, okay? And you can see that it's drying, and when you put a light through there, you're going to be able to, you can almost see my fingers there. So that's the way that we're going to do all of the vellum. There are other ways to color vellum. So if you have ink pads, if you have other kinds of markers, if you have a printer and you want to do them on your printer, do it that way. But don't go pulling your hair out looking for red vellum, green vellum, yellow, I mean, it's just, to me, it's kind of a wild goose chase, and I love the effect, but in a pinch, if I didn't have a marker or my printer wasn't working, I would just put it on as is. But this does look good with the colored vellum, so I want to show you how I do that. And see how easy I'm doing that? I'm using the broad tip or the chisel tip of my alcohol markers. This is not a Copic marker. If you like markers, this is a really good deal. It's called Oh Hoo Hoo art marker, and they sell kits that are like 32 and I don't know, 96, and then they have like the ultimate one, which is the one I have. It's like 120. Now, I don't use them all, but I just had to get the ultimate. So so you don't have to buy all of them, obviously, but I just love pens, and I just love any kind of like office materials. I was an office supply kind of a hound as a kid growing up, man, with my typewriters and and back then they just did not cater to 12-year-old kids who wanted to become journalists. So it was hard. My dad had to go out in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where he worked, and look for all these little things. And I think I was probably stressing him out. He never said that, but I'd like, I need this and I need that, please. And I mean, always nicely, but I was the creative kid in the family, I guess. And my sisters were not. They just weren't. So I've been doing this since the dawn of time, it feels like. And this happens to be my current iteration of crafting. So there we go. I also have some viewer mail. I hope I can get to it. If I can't, I'm going to do it on Monday because I don't know if I have all of it. When Mom was over, I ended up, she ended up helping me. So I ended up with kind of a mess when she left, and I still haven't had the chance with everything that's gone on to really clean up. So I think I need to do that tomorrow. So let's see. Yeah. Life just gets in the way of crafting, doesn't it? I just wish I didn't have to do things like buy groceries and clean my house. I don't even clean my house. My house is a mess, and I would rather be doing this than mopping floors, but that's just me. And if you're in charge of homekeeping, I give you permission to take time off. Okay, I give you permission to take time off from all your homekeeping because honestly, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to have a beautiful floor in the kitchen, but is it going to be the end of the world? I was thinking about that today, about like company. When I was younger, when my parents, when I lived with my parents, we would have visitors, guests, people coming by for the evening, and they would have like little, whether they play cards or they'd have cocktail parties or whatever, or they'd have round robins. There were, people would go from one house to the other, and just parties, open houses, Christmas and whatever. And nowadays, I don't know that, and I know because of COVID, but I don't think there's a whole lot of people doing that. And in general, anyway. And I remember we used to have like the, what did we have? The Stella Dora cookies or the Entenmann's snack cakes or whatever they were. Just those were for company because on Sunday was a company day. And after church, we would go somewhere or they would come here, that sort of thing. And I've told this story before, but my aunt who passed a few years ago, and I love this woman. And she's the one who taught me a lot about the sewing. So she was such a home economics teacher, and she was like lived it. And like if you go over there and you were she'd always have something real nice, let's say donuts, but because we were kids, she would make us cut them in half. Like, who cuts donuts in half? And most kids don't finish a whole donut, and that was her, she was very frugal. So, but I just always thought that was so bizarre. But, she ended up giving two houses and one on the Cape. So maybe they were really frugal enough to afford those things. I don't know. So those are all of our I missed one. Those are all of our vellum pieces. I missed one. Let's get that one. And you're going to do it better than I am because, and I'm going to just say this right up front. Leo is the guy who does, who does Dreaming Tree. He is an incredible perfectionist. So things that you see him do, you are not going to see me do, because he takes little pieces and puts glue in there and does all of this stuff. And I'm like, I couldn't be bothered. I just could not be bothered. So one of the things that I will show you, though, is that this castle consists of 3 castles, right? It has the main one in the middle, and then 2 side ones. So he has gone ahead, and I really appreciate his perfectionism. I just have trouble sitting through when he does things like take glue and finish the seam. I'm like, oh, come on, please, Leo, just no. Just no. So that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's you too. I don't know. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we are going to separate these pieces, and I'm going to show you here, right here. There's an L here. See that? And if you look, and there's also an L here and here. Uh-oh. Oh, I got to tell you about Lola. So Lola's been a little bit difficult to settle. Shh, shh, shh. Lola, honey. Come on. And so what happens is she gets like super excited, and she'll bark, and Benji, not Teddy Bear, but Benji will get mad at her, and he will haul off and start on her, but then he will never let her stop. I think if he just ignored her, she would be so much better. So I ended up having this whole conversation with the vet, and ooh, that's something happened to that piece. That's weird. And she's on a tranquilizer, which she totally needs. Okay, so this is a B. So that means the back. And this is an F for the front. Okay? And you'll see that there are these L's on some of these pieces. This one is the R and L. So this is going to be the center. So we can put it like a C here, just so that we don't get confused. The important thing is just sort your pieces and sort of keep in mind that you've got 3 towers basically. Okay. So let's start with the left. This is center. So here's left, and that's the center. I don't know what that one is. I think it must be the center. Okay. And here's another left. This is right, left, and right. So here, let's just do 1 tower at a time. Let's just focus on this 1 tower at a time. So the towers each have 2 levels, and then they have a top to them. So just so that I can show you here, you see it has a top to them, but there are 2 levels, and there are a lot of pieces in between. It's the tray that I'm going to have trouble with at the end. All right. So so here's what we're going to do. We're going to fold all of these pieces at the score lines, and you'll notice that there are these little tiny lines here, right there, on the outside of the piece. So we're just folding for now, and we have only the left stuff. So the way this is designed, which is a beautiful design, it has a lot of these little tiny pieces to indicate that there's sun sort of falling over the sandcastle. So I want to show you how he does that, but I don't want to get too you know, in the weeds about it. So the first thing first, he takes, let's see that we got this right. Okay, so fold, fold, fold. Okay, so first we're going to put something behind the window, if I can find them. And I don't think it's this, but maybe I'm wrong. But I had all these extra pieces and I'm like, I don't know. But he put these in and they kind of go in like this. And so you see, this is like a dimension. So in my opinion, this is the sort of thing that you may want to skip if you're not that into, you know, the dimension, because it seemed rather, I don't know, superfluous, but we'll try it. We'll try it. So here we go. We're going to first put this piece in here. Just have to make sure we're putting it in so that it's sort of peeking out on only on one side, you see? So that gives it dimension. It's really clever. It really is clever, but it's not kind of, I'm going to just do this. Now, we're doing this before we put the vellum on, and you only have to do it in a couple of places, and I'm going to have to move this. So I'm putting it on, and I'm sort of, now, of course, he took all this time and he did a lot of inking, and I almost think that he needs to like create like the fast version and then the perfectionist version, because frankly, 2-hour video is too much for me, and I make 1-hour videos all the time, so go figure, right? So here's our vellum that I did with, and you can do whatever you want, but we're going to take it, we're going to put the painted side and down on these, okay? So we have to get 3 like that. Now, vellum, if you've never worked with vellum, is its own little animal. First of all, if you go looking for vellum, you need to make sure you're looking for translucent vellum. Because if you just go on, I made this mistake, if you just go on like Amazon and you just type in vellum, you will get a very smooth paper, but not always the translucent kind, okay? So, because not everybody uses vellum for craft purposes. Sometimes they use it in offices. It's a very smooth paper, and so, you know, that can happen to you. But also, it generally just comes in 8.5 by 11. Once upon a time, though, the Cricut folks did have vellum in 12 by 12, and I keep asking for that back, but I don't know that that's ever going to happen. Okay, so here is this one. This opening is for this, okay? And you'll see it actually has a little tab here. I put mine on the outside, and he used like a Velcro, but honestly, I think you can fit it in where the tab is sort of in there, and then you open it up like this. So let's put that on that way, and then you don't need a Velcro, you know? So I'm just going to fit this in here exactly like this. Whoops. Stay in place. Right. Oh, so I was telling you about Lola. So Lola, I don't know if I told you this, but she's on like a tranquilizer just to calm down. She's just too jumpy. And Benji takes advantage of that, I think. So, okay, we're going to flip this over and put the vellum. So we have these little ones, and then sort of the half, I don't know, the rounded one, the arched windows. So, so vellum, You don't want to use a lot of glue on. That was my biggest mistake when I first started with vellum, is it's not super porous like cardstock, so you don't need as much on there as you think you do. Okay, as much glue. And I'm always an advocate for just a little bit of glue anyway. So so you notice I'm just putting it, and I'm putting it on the piece and not on the vellum. That's because I want the vellum to stick. Now if you use too much glue, what will happen to your vellum is it will crinkle. Okay, and you will be very disappointed. And so I just want to mention that. Okay, so this is the second layer, and we're going to do vellum on here and here. Then once we have that done, we are going to turn the pieces over and put these little they're really interesting. Again, he's almost like an engineer. He like makes these things that they're just so beautiful. But some of it's like, yeah, I didn't go to engineering school. I just like to play with paper all the time. So there's that. So here's what he has. You don't need to do this, but you will see that there's these little dots right here. See that? And that is for these. And that will give also that illusion of depth. So you don't have to use it, but let's put a couple on anyway. I think there's only like one on the front of each piece, but 2 layers, 2 towers. Right. So this one, no. Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. So this we would do like here, but that one's too big. I don't know. That's a circle, so we don't need it there. I don't know. That looks too big to me. So it's stuff like that that I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm going to skip. Okay. And let's see. So I did end up with a lot of pieces left over. So just so you know. Okay. So this is going to be the bottom part of the left tower. And this is going to be the top part. And then there will be like kind of like a spire on the top. Okay. So let's do the top piece first. And again, you can put those little things in if you want. You see there are these little marks. I'm not going to do that, but you can do it. You can also do something called inking. Inking is when you take an ink pad and you go along the edges of your piece. It's very time consuming, but it does lead, most of the time, it leads to a very nice effect. It gives it sort of a, like a dimensional effect. And so you'd take something that was a little bit darker than the color that you had cut out. So if this would be oatmeal, so maybe I'd choose something that was kind of like a pottery color or terracotta color. And then I would ink on the edges of the piece. I'm not going to do that because it is time consuming, but you go ahead and do it. I just don't want to take a gazillion hours to put this together, or you'll be screaming at me like, come on, Rita, let's go. All right. So you saw that I closed it up, and now I'm going to take and glue on these tabs, just like this. And I am going to hopefully get this on absolutely straight. And if it's helpful to you, you can either reach in like this, or once it catches, you can turn it around like this and use like your pen or whatever to press down. Okay, So that, believe it or not, we're halfway done with the first tower. So it's going to be, the spire is going to go on top there. That's a different color. So we'll get to that in a second. Okay. So here's our, bottom, the first floor. Okay. And here's where we have our little, it's a flap to put our candle in. Okay. So we're going to put these two pieces side by side, and you need to put this part up top and this part at the bottom, and when you do that, you can glue them together using those tabs. Okay. I hope Leo doesn't think that I'm butchering his project. He is a master, and I really love his stuff. But sometimes it's just really intense, you know. Now, remember, I'm using the left pieces, so I have left and left. So you want to do that. I don't necessarily know why you want to do that, but he made a big emphasis that, you know, make sure you put the left with the left and the right with the right. I think it has to do with the placement of the three pieces on the foam core. All right. So I am folding this in half and doing the second tab. And it didn't take. So make sure that it's right up against the edge, just like that. Not just like that, like that. Okay. Give it a second. And then you can unfold it like this. And I would probably do the top part first because it's smaller. And we're going to do the same thing where we're going to glue these tabs. Okay. Not a lot of glue here, folks. Just keep it to a minimum, but get it on the entire tab so that you don't have like an open seam. If you have an open seam, will that be the end of the world? Absolutely not. But Leo's really big on finishing the seams. I guess that's just the difference between he and I. I'm more of a hobbyist crafter, I guess, and he's a professional one. So anyway, so we're going to glue here. It's okay, Lola. So Lola loves me. She's already in love with me. But that causes a problem because Benji often will like to come and when I'm talking or whatever, come and come sit on my lap. But she does not allow that at all. So, we're juggling and trying different things. And eventually they'll all love each other, but I think a tranquilizer was needed. So, and it's like a human tranquilizer, but for dogs, trazodone, which, I know is used for anxiety, because I think that's what she has, an anxiety. She would like pace and grumble like, and she just like wouldn't settle like my other guys. So, and she's sassy. I'm not taking away the sassy part. I'm just trying to help her get along better by, you know, just helping with the anxiety a little bit, you know. But when I was talking to the vet, she goes, well, we could try Prozac. And I'm like, wow, really? Prozac for a dog? But she said, no, we'll try this one because it's good. You can up the dose if, say, for instance, you're having a thunderstorm, or there's fireworks or something, which she has not been that great about, but we haven't had a lot, so that's cool. All right, so there's the bottom, right? You're going to open this up. You're going to put in a candle here. Isn't that great? And then here is going to go on here. But before we do, we need to get the spire, and then the I don't know what you'd call them, but they look like teeth. Here they are. They look kind of like teeth. I'm sure they have an official name. I never knew what the official name was, even when I was doing Owen's Legos. He loved the castles. And so put those together all the time for him. Then he would take them all apart. So, okay. So see this piece here? It's got like these markings right here, and then also around the edges had these little tabs, just little tabs. Because it's a hexagon, it's, you know, kind of bigger, and it sort of leans out a little bit. So we're going to glue all of these little tabs right here. You have a dog with a friend with a dog that's on Prozac. Yeah, I think the poodly breeds, the little breeds, like the Chihuahuas and stuff, I just never thought for a corgi, but it kind of makes a little sense, especially for this girl. She's just, she gets like anxious and she wants to make a noise, and then Benji comes over and is like, stop that, and then she's like, I'll do whatever I want, and then they start a fight, and I'm just so afraid that they're gonna hurt one another that I just was like, either I have to keep her separated for the rest of eternity, or I have to give her away, and I don't want to do that. Although Mom has been talking about getting another dog, but I think she's got her hands full with her arm. She's making quite a bit of progress on the arm. She absolutely loves it there. She just absolutely loves it. So it's well worth it for my sister. And her place is, she only got the studio because that's all we could afford, let me tell you. Because it was really expensive. But it includes all the meals, activities, and everything else. But my sister was really worried that the studio wasn't going to be big enough because she was coming from like a huge apartment. But okay. Okay, so see, there you go. But she has plenty of room. All right, you guys. What's going on? Dog walking season. All right. Oh, yeah. Hey. Okay. See, she just kind of goes on and on. The other dogs just stop after a while. Hi. Okay. So, I know. All right, relax. Okay, so these are the teeth. I call them the teeth, right? And they actually go up this way, and they're going to get glued to here. This gives the structure some stability, which is real nice. And I probably should have made the teeth on the other side so I can see those little spaces, but oh well. And we're going to just glue this part here. Shh. So I got to tell you this story about Owen. Oh my God, it's hilarious, right? So he's a thrifty kid, right? He's a real thrifty kid. I don't know that I did it to him or whatever, but he's a super thrifty kid. So he would go to what we have something called Savers, which is like a thrift store, like Goodwill. And he loves to he picks up some of the most amazing things there. And I just kind of let him go because I don't have to spend a ton of money. And even if they don't fit all that well, or he only gets a little, he even buys some shoes there. So apparently one time he got a pair of women's pants, right? He didn't know it because he likes the skinny cut pants. And so he got women's pants, and he said, what is the problem with women's pockets? Why can't women's pocket? Because he's like, he realized, you know, he tried to put his phone in there. I couldn't keep my phone in there or my wallet, and I don't want to put it on the back. And he said, that's a pocket patriarchy. I just thought that was hilarious. Pocket patriarchy. And I am going to revolutionize women's pockets. This was all happening today. So he says, I'm going to revolutionize women's pockets, and they're going to be able, all women are going to be able to, I mean, obviously not all women's pockets are, but you know what I mean? Some of the ones in the front, he was like, I am going to make $1 million by just changing the pockets on women's clothes. He's a funny kid. And then he actually went over for the first time to see Nana's place, and he got a tour, and he said, you know, I would actually like to work in a place like this. So I thought that was good, because I think the future is in, you know, in like these communities. I really do. So okay, so here we're going to, and we could have put it on before, but I'm going to put it on after, and it gives, again, that dimension, which is really so cute. The thing that got me was when he said it was a pocket patriarchy. I was in stitches. I'm like, what are you talking about? You ladies have never been able to store. And then I started thinking about it, and you know what? Women in like the Victorian age actually had pockets, but they wore them. They're like they weren't part of their skirt. They were pockets. And they would like tie around their waist so they could store things in there. And in fact, when they started doing handbags, that's why they called them pocketbooks. Pocket books. Isn't that really interesting? He, of course, didn't think that was so interesting, but I did explain to him that, you know, women have been struggling with this dilemma for a very long time. So so there we go. Now you don't need you can glue this actually on here if you want. I think that I just glued it onto there. Yeah, I think it wants us to glue it, so let's go ahead and glue this together, because the idea is you're going to probably take a bigger LED light and there we go. And let's get the top of the spire. So there are 3 spires, because there's 3, and there are 2 of them are the same size, and then there's a bigger one. So let's find both of them so I don't put the wrong one on. Nope. Give yourself a lot of room with this project. Definitely give yourself a lot of room. I actually just I was throwing things around. I'm like, I don't need this. And, oh man, you know what happens is if it falls on the floor, Benji gets it and he chews it up. So then I don't have to find a place for it because he ruins it. Okay, I don't know. Oh. Do I have all 3? Yes, I do. I have all 3. I'm going to get a pair of scissors because this looks like it didn't cut right. But there's 1, 2, 3. But, you know, these aren't the pieces that I need. That's going to be for the top of it. Is this it? Yes. Okay. See that? It's very simple here. We're just going to fold, fold just like this all the way around. No, this one is for the middle. Oh, yeah. Where did it go? Where did those go? Figures. Shh. Maybe there's another one, and there's the other. Yeah, okay, Rita. Now I'm cooking with gas. Okay, so one's bigger than the other. This one is bigger, so we're going to use that for the middle. All right, so fold all here, and there are tabs here as well. I'm going to fold those. Oh. And then there are these tabs here, which you can, and I actually did this wrong because when we do the right side, we won't glue it to it because we won't be able to put this in there. Well, you know what? Maybe I can. What are you guys doing under my feet? All right. So this is going to go in here. So before we assemble it, I think what I'll do is, yeah, I can just make this spire. And this is all right, you guys. Who is that? Oh, Benji's underneath me, and Lola's sitting on the side, and she's not growling. Good job, Lola. So proud of you. All right, so I did this wrong. We'll do it right the first on the other one, but I did it wrong, but we're going to try it anyway. So we're going to take this and put it in here and glue this in place. Okay? Oh, you guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this whole thing. I mean, seriously, because I'm talking so much. Hey, stop. Okay, so here is the top of the first tower. The right tower goes together the exact same way. So I'm going to skip to the middle tower, and in case people have to bow out. Now, if you came in late, I will tell you that I did not get one important thing for this project, and that is a foam core, because it goes on like a foam core base, which makes total sense, but I just didn't think. I thought the base was made just simply out of paper, so we won't be able to put together the base tonight because I do not have foam core. I just don't keep that stuff. All right. All right, so one more little tidbit for this, and that is this little top, the spire on the top. So you see it's going to go right on top. Now, inking I mentioned, but I was thinking, sandcastles, maybe you might want to do some glitter, because if you use like a white glitter, it can look like sand, but I don't know. That was just my thought. All right, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of glue on here just to hold it in place. Right? And also what is going to go on the top is our pennant. So here's the pennant, just like this. You fold it in half, you glue here, and then put it on top of the spire. Okay, so there's the first one done, right? It didn't seem that hard, right? So let's do the middle, because I don't want people to feel like they have to stick around. So here is the middle. We're going to need this. This says right. This one does not have anything. Okay, Benji. Benji's a little high strung too, you know. Maybe that's it. Maybe the two of them are high strung. Okay, so this is the middle one. It's slightly bigger. The base is wider. There's a few more elements that you're going to put on there. So let's start with the top. Is that what we started with before? So this is easy. We just got to fold it. I think it's better to start from the top than the bottom, because then you remember the gluing issue. All right, Benji. Okay, so here we're gonna glue. That's the same as, it's just slightly bigger, but it's the same as the left and right tower. Okay. It's okay. He wants to get by, and Lola's sitting right there. But she's like sleeping. So who knows? Do you want to get by? Lola, can he get by? Can he get by? I'm actually surprised Owen's not here, because he's like, he likes to crash our videos lately, and he is actually kind of bored, and that's sort of my fault, because he was supposed to get like a job, but I was like kind of with COVID and stuff, I was kind of like, now with this Delta variant, I don't want him to go. But he did see a job at our ARC, what's it called, coffee shop, and for a barista. So he's going to apply there. So what they do there is they take kids that are special needs, and he is special needs because he's on the spectrum, and they take them and they give them jobs so that they know how to do things like count money, use a cash register, run credit cards through. It's a perfect little job for him. It's right in downtown Peabody, so he could just go there on his own, and then have his own spending money, which is kind of cool. And they wouldn't be, I was like a little afraid, like, you know, what if he doesn't get, I know he'll get it. He's a smart kid, but, you know, just some things, it's a little bit hard. At the most people work at Market Basket, which is our grocery store, but he would not fit in there because they have all the preppy kids from St. John's, and he is not a preppy kid. Like, he likes all the vintage stuff. Okay, so there's the top. All right, and then let's go to the next piece, which is the middle. I do not know why this got that way, but that's okay. We are just gonna put that in the back. Let's put that in the back. All right, so we're gonna fold these. It's like this paper went in the machine wrong or something, and it got caught, or I don't know. So we're going to put our vellum. Let's get the correct size vellum. So this, this, not sure. Maybe? Oh, Benji, have confidence. Just push yourself through. Say, excuse me, but don't get into an argument. All right? All right, so we're going to put that vellum there. You notice I'm not putting a lot. And we have quite a bit of vellum to put on. Yes, darling. It's okay. And again, you could use those little interior pieces and exterior pieces, but frankly, we just don't have time for that. And I want to see what you guys come up with if you attempt this, because this to me is kind of the ultimate 3D project. There are two other projects that I would consider to be kind of ultimate. One of them is SVG cuts, and it's for a Victorian home that I keep saying I'm gonna do, but I never do. But I own it, and I'm like, I want to do this. That is huge. It's got several stories and so much detail. So that's pretty ultimate. And then there's a winter castle that these guys came out with not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, that I bought and I never attempted. So see, you're not the only one if you bought an SVG and didn't do it yet. I mean, you guys are good motivators for me because then you get me going. All right. So, pretty cool, right? Not going to fit, right? That's because we need this piece. Dun da da. So this piece is kind of like those teeth. It's going to sit on top of that piece. So hold the spire. Oh my goodness, Benjamin. Can you guys hear him? I don't know if you can hear him, but he's crying because he wants to go sit with his brother, and Lola's sitting right in the alleyway, so he's not able to go by. So he's just going to have to wait until the end of the show, because then when I do that, Lola will get up. Okay? All right, so this is actually going to be glued here on the sides like this, and then this is going to go here. Okay, and then we'll glue the very top. So first we have to do these side pieces. Benjamin, you need to stop, please. All right, so we're going to glue these side pieces. May have to come back and figure out the base, and once I get the foam core, may have to come back and finish up for that. Maybe I can do that next week, but I really wanted to move on, and I got so many great websites to show you. I have to play and pause his YouTube video. Yeah, he's so particular. He's super. He reminds me a lot of my older sister, who is like a perfectionist. Like, we used to tease her. I worked in the same office as her, like the same company, but different office, right? And I'd go into her office and I would turn her stapler around and her tape dispenser around, and then she'd come in and I would see how long it would take her to fix it. And she would always fix it and never say anything about it. She was just, she'd come in and blah, blah, and she's fixing it while you're talking to her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's such a perfectionist. So he reminds me of that. I like it. It's cute. Okay. And you see we're creating a little platform here. Right? See that? Cute, right? And then we are going to fold in these tabs. Glue. So Dawn is traveling today, so we're not going to hear from her, or will she be able to come on during the morning and just not today because she's traveling? I don't know. I wasn't following it. I apologize. I wasn't following. And Shelly is on her way home to Massachusetts after her whirlwind tour of Wisconsin, and I forget where else. A lot of places. Pennsylvania? I don't know. Well, I'm sure we'll hear from her. I don't think she's in. Used to do that to your mom too? Yeah, it's just like I wasn't trying to irk her. I was just trying to see how long it would take her to just fix it up. And she'd be coming back from lunch or whatever, and and I happen to be like not at lunch with her, and I would just kind of go in there and yeah. Okay. So, how did I do this? Well, I don't know how I did this, but you know what? This is, okay. So we'll get this here, and then let's do, this is the base. So again, fold everything at the score line, and you'll see on here on the base, it does say left and right. Here we go. Left, right. So that's how we know that this is the base, because it has both the L and the R. So we're going to fold, fold, fold at all these score lines. Just like that. And let's flip it over and put in our vellum. Here we need this half moon, and we need, what is that? This arch. Where's my arch? So let's just do this. And personally, if I were going to attempt this again, or whenever I attempt one of these bigger projects, I tend to cut it out, leave it in a pile with the directions, and then come back and put it together. I do not like cut it out and then try to put it together in that same in that same evening. Okay, so this is not going to be like a straight, like really linear. So we have to glue it because it looks kind of like curved. That's the way it's gonna be. So we're not going to be able to fold it over in half on itself. But notice that this is on the top, and this one here, this one here is on the bottom, okay? And here goes on that. Okay. So our nights are getting shorter. Have you noticed? No more 8 o'clock sunsets for us. Boo-hoo. I mean, it's still somewhat light out, but it's definitely coming to the end of summer. Okay. See how it's like this way longer, but then 2 small pieces. So we need to make sure that when we're gluing it, it gets glued that way. And I always start opposite of where that flap is. And there we go. Sort of get that there. Line it up. Okay. And in this particular case, this is the bottom. So it's actually smaller on the bottom than it is on the top, which is unusual, but I totally get it because I'm going to show you what goes on the front. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to come back and do the base when I get that foam core. I have to go over to Michael's anyway, so I can just pick it up then. Okay. So that that is the base. Now these we're going to go and put them up like this, and then we're going to take these two pieces right here, which look like a collar. I can find the other one. Where is it? Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? Oh man. Well, so these two pieces become, there's supposed to be two of them, and they're like folded here, and then they have a tab, and then we're going to glue them onto here just to make this sort of stiff. But I can't find the other one to show you that, so we're just gonna have to, let me just look one quick time more. Well, no, weird. Okay, well, I can probably put this part of the piece in, so let's do that just because, you know, I want to just show you how it's going to happen. Mine won't be complete, yours will, but this would go here, and that would hold our middle piece easily, right? So here's the middle piece, I believe. Yes, like this. But it's going to go on this way because this is the front. And I know this is the front because dun, da, 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 we have the door, which I cut out in a different color brown. This is actually really thick. This stuff was Bazzill paper. So I should have cut it on heavy cardstock. If you ever get Bazzill paper is really nice, but it's super heavyweight. And I generally, you know, because I just like the medium weight stuff. But for structures, the heavyweight might be nice. Bazzill is, they're all owned by the same company, American Craft, but Bazzill, American Crafts, those are all really good. Paper Accents is owned separately. All right. So they're out of Eugene, Oregon, I think, or Oregon somewhere. But most, and this is really interesting to me anyway, but most paper companies and scrapbook companies, if you didn't know, they are very prevalent in Utah, because I think this is because the Mormon people, the Mormons, or the Latter-day Saints, I think they prefer that. So the Latter-day Saints are really big on ancestry. So they like to be able to trace all of their family. And so what shot out of that hobby, I don't know if I'd call it hobby, but that, you know, activity was scrapbooking. And that scrapbooking is indeed the start of these electronic machines. A lot of people don't know that, but they've had these electronic machines for quite some time. I always thought it was kind of funny when I get people that, and maybe they've had their machine for a year and they're feeling super confident, which is great to feel confident, but you know, like, I know everything there is to know about and I would say to them, yeah, you know, you can never know everything. And that sort of took the wind out of some people's sails, and I apologize for that, but that's that. Okay, here it is. All right, so here is the front door, and we're going to just glue this, and I'm going to glue it to the front, and you'll see it kind of covers that wide base. And that's why we have this. Oh, who's that? Is that who stopped at a hotel? Shirley? Oh, Shirley. Well, if you're tired, maybe you should stop. We don't want you to fall asleep. In my new Honda, when I drove to New Hampshire, if you are just driving for a long time, it will actually show a picture of coffee and say, maybe it's time for a break. Like if you're just driving for a long time, which I thought was kind of cute. It's like, yeah, I could use a coffee. Just kind of funny. Okay. So this is the front door, which it looks like, there'd be a moat, which is kind of cool. We're not going to put glue all over it because it's actually bigger than the front, but it does show this real nice, right? And then this is our base. I think this is supposed to be like this, but that was the broken side, right? So let's put it this way. And then we're going to take our base like this, right? And we're going to glue it to this middle piece. And then we're going to put this on top. So let's put this on top first. And then we will be done with 2 out of 3 spires, and we will come back and finish it up, and that includes the tray, which the tray I don't have all the pieces for. So I'll even get toothpicks for our little pennants. So there. All right. And then we're going to put these out like this and glue here. All right. So for those of you that have stuck with me, thank you. This was a big project, and I didn't plan. I don't think I planned. Well, I tried. Life got in the way. All right, so I'm just kind of like reaching in and doing the sides here, hoping that will catch. All right, Benji. And for what it's worth, he tapes his, so he can edit out parts that take a long time or fast forward, but not us. All right. There we go. And this goes here like that. And I'll show you later, like a different time, how to do the base. But the base is like 2 big pieces that have to go on foam core. And here they are. You actually cut them out. And then you cut the foam core. And then you put these edges around it once you have the foam core, but I don't have that, so Poor planning on my part. Sorry, guys. But that is how you do the two different spires. And then you would do the third one. So we're going to just take this one. And it doesn't match, but that's how this is like the basic, the main project. Okay. So, and then we'll come back next week. I'll come back next week and do the, base for you, but that's how you put it together. It's like eating an elephant, right? My uncle used to say that, how do you eat an elephant? And one bite at a time. That's how you do these kinds of projects, is that, you just take it one thing at a time. And I will mention that when I first started putting it together, I was kind of freaking out. And I was like, I'm never going to get this done in time. And then I'm like, you know what? They're going to be okay with that. Folks are going to be okay with that. So I hope you try it. And this will be, kind of a big project for you to try. All right. Don't forget, we start Monday with freebie week. And then on Saturday is our Zoom call. So we're going to have a theme for the Zoom call, maybe something summary. Okay. And have a great day off. We'll see you. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Monday. Okay. Take care. Bye.